I'll be brief, and I'll just tell you a little story. I'm a nerd by profession. I have a PhD in computer science, and if you were to tell me anything about entrepreneurship or venture capitalism 8 years ago, I would just blank at you. I'd be like, I don't know what that means. What happened, though, was when I joined Stevens, I started meeting some incredible students, and these were students who were freshmen, who were sophomores. Most of the people we met had really broken GPAs. They had trouble focusing on classes, but man, they were just good at building things. So I started working with them. We'd normally meet over the weekends, eat some pizza, and just build some products. Now, we're a tech school, which means we're all nerds, and we love building things. And I think one of the most important things we learned along the way was if you build or if you solve technical problems, you're going to invent protocols, you're going to file some patents. But if you solve human problems using technology, you end up building businesses. This took a few years for us to understand, but once we started understanding those, we started using what was our core strength, which is just technology, and we were working with broken people, and we were rolling out companies. It stuns me to say that today we have a portfolio of over 20 companies, and some of our graduates have hit places like Y Combinators and Sequoia Capitals and Andreessen Horowitz. It humbles me to be a part of that. As Aaron was pointing out in the morning, entrepreneurship is a very lonely business. I can vouch for that. And what keeps us sticking is a very small community of people who tend to help one another. So at this point, we're transitioning not just as a place where you build companies in a few months, but I think what we come to represent is a whole new way of thinking about education at large. What we do here at iSTEM is we go to high schools. We find people who universities would oftentimes ignore because their GPAs are really bad, their SAT scores are really bad. It's almost like going to a toy store and you go to that aisle with broken toys. We find these people, we believe in them, we look them in the eye and we're like, we have a place for you. We bring them to Stevens. And at this point we represent less than 1% of the student body here at Stevens, but the kind of ROI that we're punching out is remarkable. And what we do with these people is from day one, we're just looking at how do you build legendary companies. There are a few things that we pay a lot of attention to. We look at giant markets, we look for purity of motivation, and we look for technological excellence. And when you combine these three factors with a really strong community, I feel that we're at a reckoning point. We're at a reckoning point as humanity because it's increasingly difficult to justify a 4-year college degree, especially in tech. It is increasingly difficult to justify because most students end up learning on YouTube rather than classes. It is the truth, and if anything, pandemic has taught us that. And here we are at the precipice of what education should be. We don't just graduate a bunch of people who occupy cubicles, we graduate change makers. And that's who we are. I just want to thank Propelify. I just want to thank this entire community because we no longer feel lonely. This really is our first time being here at an event like this, and it's just incredible looking at the energy. So if you're interested in seed stage startups, early stage startups, by broken founders but incredibly ambitious people, come talk to us. We are very active in certain sectors like healthcare, fintech, Web3, crypto, and a whole bunch of phenomenal things. But I thank you for your time, and come find us right there. Look for this logo.